Hello, welcome to Yarn Lane, the only shopping channel in the UK to be dedicated just to everything yarn-wise, whether it be knitting or crochet or animal making or anything like that. And welcome. Now, if you're new to us, welcome. Now, if you want to have a look at how you can buy or anything about us, please go to the website, which is www.yarnlane.com. And there we go. And then what you need to do is click on Watch Live and then scroll underneath. And then everything from this hour is underneath there. Now, remember, if you have bought from Sewing Street this morning, your P&P is covered. Just carry it on because the login is exactly the same. So we're doing this really, really lovely crocheted blanket or throw or wrap. They are already selling. I need you to know that straight away. So we're starting with the blue one, which is the one that Wendy's made, which I've got here. Oh, Wendy didn't make this one. Sorry, Wendy didn't make this one. Who made this one? You got the name on it? Millie. Millie what? Millie Mason. Oh, Millie Mason. You do a lot of art knitting, sewing, crochet, don't you? There it is. That's the blue one. So what you get in this one is you do get the instructions. Oh, but you designed it, though. Oh, she designed it, but she didn't make it, Wendy Orlando. Right, so what size will this make, then? Let's have a look. 3D effect crochet blanket. It's what? Does it say there? I'll look in that way. Anyway, look at all the balls of yarn that you get. This is 100% premium acrylic. It's washable at 30 degrees. You do it with, now we're doing crochet, aren't we? You could also knit with this because you need a 4mm crochet hook or 4mm knitting needles. It's special double knit. So you get 3 of that colour. Oh, sorry, you've gone over there. 3 of that colour. French navy. You get 2 of that colour. Which one do you get 2 of, though? Cloud blue. You get 3 denims. And you get 4, is it white or cream? White. 4 whites. So you get all of those. And your instructions there from Wendy. Quarter of the stock's gone already. I know, achievable for beginner. The finished size is approximately 40 by 50 inches. If you bought 2 kits, you could make a bigger one. Of course you could, Hannah, because how many squares do you make? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 80 squares. So you'd make 160 squares if you bought 2 bundles. How much is a bundle? 32, 9, 10. You see, I'd want 2, and I'd want it to fit my double bed, you see, because 40 by 50 wouldn't fit my double bed, would it? Even if I just have it as my single person side, Hannah said, just on my side on my own. Anyway, that's the blue one. That's the blue one. Now, Hannah's favourite is the grey one, which is here, which is the one Wendy's going to demonstrate with. So on this one, you get 4 white, you get 2 silver, you get 3 grey, and you get 3 graphites. Plus your instructions. You don't get the crochet hook or the scissors. I do apologise. You take that picture, Wendy Orlando. What are you doing putting things in pictures that aren't for sale? There's another very famous shopping channel that has 3 letters, and the presenters go mad if no, it's learning process. If they
didn't know it was going to be on there.
If they say, why is that flannel on with that creep? You know, if they're doing beauty cream or anything. Why is that flannel? You do not get the flannel. They get really, really angry. I'm not getting angry. I'm going to tell you, don't do it again. I'm not annoyed. I'm just disappointed. Okay, so what do we do? Half the stock's almost gone to the grey one as well. So we're going to run out of things. It's only 7 minutes past the hour, so. Crochet hooks very quickly before I go to that. Now, I've got 2 crochet hooks here. Wendy will explain why I've got 2 different sizes. So that's a 4, first of all. Crochet hook. We do have different brands on the website if you don't want a clove one. It's all ergonomically designed, but depending on which shape and whether you want it made of bamboo or whatever you want it made of. $4.99 that one. 4.5mm, same make. That one. Okay. I've got other tools which I'll mention as I go. So, Wendy, why have I got 2 different sides? Crochet hooks.
To do your crochet.
Yeah.
It's purely because when you do a border,
yeah,
If you use the same size hook as your square, sometimes it's a little bit too big. Some people will want to just continue with the hook, but very often you go down a hook size on your border.
Okay, so you've made yours out of 4.5, and then you do the
And then I
border
would
in
go
4.
down
Okay,
with 4. Yeah, because otherwise you get baggy. But it does explain in there that just to start your border and see how the stitches are behaving, and if they're looking like a ripple, so they're making it look like they're stretched, then go down a hook size. If it's all being really tight at the top, just go up a hook size.
Is that because the border is a different stitch?
No, it's just the way, because what you're doing, when you put everything together, it all behaves differently.
Right.
So we've joined them, and Millie has done an amazing job on here. I will just point out that I thought I was quite, well, I know that I'm fairly loose, but I didn't realise how loose I was.
Oh, excuse me, what about your crocheting?
Yes, you just had to get that one in, didn't you?
That was Hannah actually, not me.
Thanks, Hannah. When you put my skirt up against Millie's...
Oh! Crikey.
There's no crikey about it, each to their own.
So what I don't understand though, because I don't do crochet, why
Right.
it's the same pattern, the same wool, the same size hook. How can that happen?
It's the way I hold, and and this is what I keep stressing, that there's no right or wrong in crochet.
Well, there is if you're making a jumper.
But that's where you do your swatch. Now the swatch you do, and something's called blocking, which means that you mist it with a spray and you put it on a blocking board.
Oh, we did blocking with Nicola the other day,
Right,
didn't
so
we?
you need to block it. I will say that you get enough wool to make the blanket this size, and some, you get more.
Okay.
But the thing is, I might only need to do a 9 by 7
Or you
to
just
get
keep going,
to the
have a
size.
bigger.
Or keep going.
So you don't have a sample square on.
You have it's a tension guide. So if you're, but the thing what I would say is just don't try and work to the tension. Just go with your own, and you will get enough to make the blanket size. But I find I'm probably going to do one low and one column less.
Row and column less. Yeah, because it says here three treble
yes.
stitch sets by 3 rows should measure 2.5 by 1/2.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't matter on a
It doesn't
blanket.
matter
It would
at
only
all.
matter if you were making a top or something, because obviously your top would come out a lot bigger than Millie's
Oh yes,
top.
it would be huge. I think personally, Millie and we have some wonderful elves working for us, little crochet knitting elves. They do it more like the band, because if you have a look on the band, it will tell you what the tension is.
Oh, on here?
Yes, so that tells you what stitches.
Oh, yeah, so they're saying 10 by 10 centimetres should be 30 rows or 22 stitches.
Absolutely not in my case.
No.
It's huge compared to that. So that's where that would really come in. If you were making something to fit you, then you would have to juggle your hook or needle size to fit that. But this, no. The only thing that it may be is that if you get to the end, as I say, I don't think I'm going to have to do as many rows or columns, which is good for me. Because I just want to get it done.
Or you just carry on going. Does yours use more wool then if it's bigger?
That's what I'm saying. You would. That's what I'm saying. To make this size, there is plenty of wool and some even more. The trouble is when you start adding rows and columns on, you may not have enough border to go round.
No, that's what I mean. So if you crochet to your size, you
crochet
don't
to this
think,
size.
I've still got to make 80 squares. You have to make whatever 10 less or whatever.
Definitely. You may find that, as I say, there is enough left over, but what the last thing you want to do is to find that you haven't got enough.
But then you can get you can rebuy
and you
yarn.
don't need to have a border on if you don't want to have a border. You can just leave it as it is. So the reason, I mean, I can't think the last time I made one of these. I mean, we're talking seriously. I've been crocheting a long, long time. And after the granny square, this was the next thing I progressed on. It's not new. It's been around, as all the stitches have been around, years and years and years. But what this does, when you look at it, because you're starting from the corner and going darker and darker and darker and darker, it draws you in. It gives the illusion of drawing you in. And all it's done, so let's get started. All we do, if you can see by this square here, and as I say, there's no right or wrong way. Mine just happened to be a little bit bigger. But what that does mean, they're a little bit more supple. So they're a little bit softer. But just have a play. And you don't have to do a 4.5. You can do a 5 or a 6, whatever you want. But just bear in mind that you won't be able to make more than the actual size.
Got a message from Audrey. Hi, John and Whirlwind Wendy. Thank you. Love this blanket.
Yes, I
I'm
know
with
who
Hannah.
that's
Love
from.
the grey from Andrea in Bridgend.
Thank you, Andrea. Yes. They call me Whirlwind for some reason. I haven't got a clue why.
Oh,
I think
I'll
that's
tell
what
you.
Becca's
When you've got
doing.
a few days, I'll tell you. Right, go on.
So the first thing you can see...
Oh, I've got a question.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah, well, you've got a question.
Yeah, no, because when you do a granny square, you work from the inside out, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, I'll shut up.
No, yes.
And you're obviously not going to work from the inside out.
So that's where, this is kind of the next take on the granny square. If you can see that little white in the corner is the start of a granny square.
Right, okay.
And it's what you do after that that gives it the effect. So that's
I see. So if you carried that onto a granny
Yes.
square, that would be your centre. Your
Yes.
white there would be your centre of your granny
So
square.
the centre, the white is the centre, but then it becomes the corner,
Yeah,
which is, that's the magic in it. So it's not difficult. If you can do a granny square, you absolutely can do this.
Perfect.
So the first thing that we're going to do is, so how, do you want me to start with the granny square basics?
I want you
or-
to start with what
Yes,
you practice.
okay. Well, I don't practice anything.
Oh,
you
Adele
know me.
says she crochets too tight, Wendy. Made the cardigan and ended up fitting my 11-year-old. Oh, Glenys. Not Glenys, Adele, sorry.
One would question.
You've got what?
Did we do a swatch then just to check the size? Did we do a sample swatch? Because that's the whole point. You're supposed to knit up a little crochet or knit a sample square.
Obviously not.
Obviously not.
I need to tell you, the grey one is very, very limited.
Whoa. Okay. I love this because this is like denim-y. I love this blue. So the first thing that we're going to do, and if you look back on some previous shows, and I know a lot of the other demonstrators also show the magic ring method. All I'm simply doing is just making a magic ring and working a 3 chain.
Now, hang on, you're left-handed.
I am left-handed, but because when I started many moons ago, there was nothing, we didn't have 2 hands, we only had a right hand apparently.
Okay.
So there was nothing for left-handers, so I actually taught myself to crochet right-handed.
Okay, just a quick, because I'm used to seeing you cut and everything with your left hand.
I am a lefty, but that meant that it was it wasn't natural for me to hold my yarn because knit, I have the tension in my other hand, so it took me a long, I know.
Yeah. Sorry about that, you can't hear that at home apparently.
So the first thing we need to do, we're going to be working in UK trebles, so we need to gain the height that we want to work in trebles. So I'm simply chain 3ing to get the height.
Right.
Now what that does do is count as my first treble of the round. So then I'm going to do 2 more trebles and I'm creating the size of my granny square. So I yarn over the hook, and that's abbreviated as YO in all instructions, yarn over, and then I'm going to insert my hook in that magic ring. Now you can start the ring as a chain, so you can do a chain 4 or 5 and then slip stitch back into the first chain to create your ring. The only thing that with doing that is you then can't pull it tight, and you'll see what I mean in a moment.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter, you can always sew it round or just leave a little hole, and then we yarn over and pull through, and we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and we take off the first 2, and then yarn over and take off the second 2, and that is a treble stitch. So I've now got 2 treble stitches. Remember, one of them's made up of 3 chains, but one of them's made up of a treble. So I do 1 more treble, and that's going to create our first side of our square. I work 2 chains, and that's going to make our first corner, and then I 3 treble back into that ring to create our second side. Now, so I am going a little bit faster with this one because we have got quite a few steps to get through, but this is all explained at an earlier date. I can't remember the date. So what we're trying to do with this inner one, we're trying to create 4 sides here and these 4 little corners.
Okay.
Now, as I say, the chains make up the corners. I do a 2 chain, and the whole reason I do that is you'll see this is my corner stitch going through the centre here. Because I've done a 2 chain, I'm going to put 6 stitches in that 2 chain on the next round and the next round, and it's pulled it out quite a bit. If I do 3 chains, I'm going to have a really big hole going through there, and it's not going to be consistent with my square.
Okay.
A lot of people prefer that, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, Adele did do a sample one. It was after that it all went wrong. So.
Oh, bless. Maybe she changed hooks without realising. Maybe she took out, just changed it. Right, and then I've done 3 trebles and 2 chain to create my 3rd side and 3rd corner. And this will become obvious when I do this last side So I'm doing my last side, which is just 3 trebles. And then to create the final corner, I'm just going to do 2 more chains, and a chain is yarn over and pull through. And to close the round, I'm just going to do a slip stitch in the top of that 3 chain, that dummy treble at the beginning.
Yeah.
Just do a slip stitch. And it doesn't look much like a square now, but I'm just, yeah, it doesn't. I'm just going to pull that tight. Now with this, there is a method. I wrap mine round twice because a lot of people complain that their magic ring comes undone. So you need to make sure if you wrap it round twice, you pull the right one first. And have I done it? Mine. There we go. So now what I've done is I've created a little mini square. And because I had that magic ring to start off with, I've pulled it tight and my little hole in the middle has disappeared.
Okay, so if you didn't do magic ring and you'd slip chain stitches, you couldn't do that?
No, you'd have a little hole in the middle,
right.
But don't worry, you can either leave the hole, it doesn't matter, or you just get your wool darning needle and do a running stitch all the way around, pull it tight, and then it will close the hole up.
Would you use your wool needle to do that?
I would definitely. You haven't got those ones with the ends because they've been out of stock every time I wanted them.
Back in stock.
Oh, they're...
Wool needles with the, yeah, they've got the little silicone ends.
Now,
3 different sizes.
The great thing about those is, if you're like me and you have to wear your glasses for everything when you can't, you can't...
Thread.
I can't thread it up. So with that, it's absolutely brilliant.
I'll put my finger in so you can see how big they are. Yeah, they look like big knitting needles like that.
Oh, they do, don't they?
There they are. They're
oh my
that
goodness. Big. But whoever thought that idea up, absolutely genius. Right, so we've done our first round, and we, although we're making a square, so we've done our first one. When we complete one of these, they're called a round. Don't worry about the as I say, the word square.
So you complete a round to make a square.
Exactly.
Okay.
But then you won't forget it, will you? Because I always think if you can teach someone something a bit odd, you're going to remember it easier. Now, what we're going to do now, we're now going to go do the second round. And we're still doing the white because we want to create that illusion. So what I'm going to do, I want to start in the corner. Because we do a 3 chain as our first treble, to disguise it, it's always better if you can put it in a corner. So I'm just going to slip stitch on the top 2 holes of these trebles and then slip stitch into the corner.
Okay. You do that while I read out this message, right?
Fine, yes.
I'm just going to read the message out first, not telling you who it's from.
Okay.
Loving watching the show, especially your crochet innuendo, but I'm not getting any work done and I'm trying to plan the special Yarn Lane half birthday show. Please save me a kit, don't mind which colourway.
Oh, I wonder...
Rebecca Reed.
Oh,
I don't think there's going to be any left, Rebecca. There's not going to be any left. Rebecca Reed, who orders them all, she just, you know what I mean?
And she, yeah. Oh, bless. Good morning. Oh, no, it's not. It's good afternoon now, isn't it? So I've slip stitched into the corner and I've done this time I've only done a 2 chain. Now, I would do a 3 chain if you're new to this, but I know that a 2 chain equals the height of my trebles. Now, I just know that because I've done it for so long. If you find your first treble is too high, then just do 2 chains. Actually, I'm going to do 3 because it does stay in the instructions.
Fewer than 20 of the grey now.
I'm just going to create a corner stitch. Now, a corner is 3 trebles, 2 chain and 3 trebles all in the same stitch. So it's all in that same space that I first started from.
Okay.
And you can see now that we're putting an awful lot of pressure on that one space. And that's, if I were to do more than 2 chains, it would make a really big hole there. So I just want the same hole. But a lot of people, some people do 4 in their corners. Now for the second round, the first and the second round are the different rounds. I don't have to do anything about side spaces because I've created my 4 sides and corners in the first round. And just by working corner stitches in those corner stitches, it's going to create side spaces for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do exactly the same in the rest of the corners. So it's 3 treble, 2 chain, 3 treble, all in the one space. I want to know why Rebecca's not getting on with her housework.
She can't be doing housework. She's working today, working from home.
Oh, of course she is.
And also, can you imagine Rebecca doing housework?
John?
That's what a husband's for.
Is that what husbands are for?
She's got to picket fence in a posh house. She'll have a cleaner. Yeah, she'll have a cleaner anyway.
She got a picket fence?
Yeah, it's lovely, her house. When she moved into the neighbourhood, the price dropped, though,
Did
obviously.
it?
Yeah.
Rebecca is incredible. She's
what?
hilarious. She just is hilarious. We're going, oh, shall we? Oh, yes, just do it, she says. Let's just do it.
That's just called, well, there's a word for it.
No. I can hear Hannah, but
She's
can't
saying
hear Hannah.
where she's positioned the monkey, it's sitting on your head.
Yeah. Oh, it's tickling me.
What are you doing then? Are you doing all the corners?
I'm just doing the corners. Right, so I'm just finishing. And these first two are really easy. Granny squares are not hard once you've mastered them because it's exactly a repeat and a repeat and a repeat. So now I've done my corner stitches in the other three corners. Now to close the round, I'm just going to do a slip stitch in that third chain that I did at the beginning.
Yeah.
Now what that has done, it's created side stitches without me doing anything. This is the magic of granny squares. So if you're just doing a granny square, you just keep going and going and going, and all that will happen is the next round you'll have 2 side stitches, then the following 3, 4 and 5, but the corners will always stay in the same space. So that's where the magic is. So I'm just going to take that colour and cut it off because I don't want that one anymore. So we've now completed our first little section of our mitre square. So that's not been difficult so far, has it?
No.
Good, good. I'm expecting to see you being able to do this because you've watched quite a few demonstrations now, haven't you? Just going to get rid of them.
Sharon, I'm afraid the pattern's not available on its own. Only in the kits, I'm afraid.
Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create, and this is where the mitre comes in because we're only going to be working on 2 sides. Now, it looks complicated, but it really isn't. It just means we're going to go down there and then go back again. So the next colour is our light grey. Oh dear, that's okay. Brilliant. See, what I should have done, I should have wound all these into my cakes. I'm just a little bit obsessed by doing that. You know those wool winders?
Yeah.
You're not listening, are you?
I am.
No.
Cakes. I had the word cakes and woke up.
No, wool cakes, wool cakes. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with this row here. So we're going to do the first of the mitre rows, that one there.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, it doesn't matter what corner you pick, but I would suggest that you pick one away from where you started. So just pick anyone, only because it just gives you a freer space so you know what you're doing. Now, I'm going to do a little trick here when I do my treble.
You can disappear.
Oh, you are on fire today, aren't you?
I'm tired now.
You are on fire. You just have a little snooze. I'll take this. You just take this. Because normally, as I say, you would do a 3 chain when you start. So normally, you just insert your hook into where you need to go.
Yeah.
Yarn over, pull through, and then do a 1 chain to secure. But that now means that we have to do a 3 chain to get the height. Remember, if you were listening, we get the height by doing chains. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to create.
Oh, this is the magic trick.
This is my little magic trick.
So if you're saying that's the traditional way of doing it, that way you've just shown, so you're now going to show. Now in the pattern, is it your magic trick or is it your?
It's literally just chain 3. Which is the one that I've just shown.
Yeah.
The issue I have with a chain 3, unless you disguise it in a corner, you can see it.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people, when they start their rounds, they start in the centre. So when you look at it, you can see this line of chains going up. But this way, you can't see it at all.
Okay,
so what we're going to do, we're going to create a dummy treble. Now to do that, with a treble, you'd normally put your yarn around once, but we're going to put it around the hook twice. You do need to hold on to this little tail here.
Oh, you know the Adele that was messaging in? Sorry, it's our Adele. You know Adele, dressmaker Adele? I didn't, because I thought, oh, it wouldn't be her to be at work because she's on half term, isn't she? She's a teacher.
Oh, of course.
So sorry, Adele. I read those messages out, not even thinking about it. Anyway, carry on.
Yes, so we need to put the yarn around the hook twice.
Yeah.
But we do need, it is a bit of a magic trick because you've got a bit of a balancing act. I've got to hold on to this tail. If I don't hold on to this tail, that end's going to go flying.
Yeah.
So I insert my hook into my space. So I've wrapped it around twice, insert, yarn over and pull through. Now what that's given me is 3 loops on the hook. So it's now just going to be a standard treble stitch. So I yarn over and pull through the first, and yarn over and pull through the second, And so I've created a treble out of nothing. You're impressed, aren't you?
So impressed.
So, I can tell. Why are you yawning then?
No, I wasn't yawning. No.
So that just disguises that chain 3.
I'm just trying to hear you over the noise of
I know,
upstairs.
it's really loud today. So now what we need to do now is we need to work along here and down here.
Okay.
Now it's this particular mitre section is made up of 2 rows. So the first row is you just do a normal treble stitch. Now a normal set of treble stitches would just be 3 trebles together. You can do more, but normally for a granny square you just do 3 trebles. So I'm just doing a normal stitch of 3 trebles in that first one. The middle one I'm just doing 3 trebles. Do you know what they sound like up there? You know the old mines that had those little things on wheels, the little carts on wheels?
I never went down a mine, so I don't know.
Okay.
No, but it sounds like, you know, like when you're at the fairground, there's a big dipper and it's
yes,
really,
it does,
really
doesn't it?
loud. And you
It's
think,
a
well, that's
whoosh.
a bit frightening because it's so loud. Yeah.
Yeah, they do feel like they're going to be in here with
Yeah.
us in a moment.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get to the corner stitch.
Yeah.
Now, every corner we do the same stitch. Very boring because it's the same. So it's 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 2 chain.
Susan says, I love the way Wendy explains things. She's so clear. Thank you, Wendy. My crochet has improved greatly. Adele said, now, right, Adele, right? So she's at home all on her own. The kids are at school. The husband's at work.
Right.
She could be doing anything she wants to
Yep.
do, right? She's crocheting socks.
And I say, good on you, Adele.
Yeah.
Good on. Yes.
Okay, you carry on. There's a message to go on the bottom, is there? Okay. I do love the banter between the two of you. Makes learning a new craft fun and more memorable, from Jan in Lancashire. Thank you, Jan.
Oh. Well, in my trampoline coach days, I would try and... Did you not know that?
No. Now we know somebody who's done every job in the world. She's not being a trampoline coach.
Has she not?
No.
Oh.
Has she, Anna?
Yeah, when I used to be a trampoline coach, and I used to teach like the real little ditties.
Oh, okay.
And I loved it because I would just make it so silly, very safe, but I would make it so silly because if you make something fun, you're more likely to want to do it and you're more likely to learn it. So that's when I was saying about, I can't even think what I said now, but if you say something silly, then you think, oh yeah, I remember that. So I've just done a side stitch
Yeah.
down the side. And now we've got one more stitch on this side. So I'm just going to do my normal side stitch. So you don't work a corner in this one because this was a corner on that second round.
Right.
But this one, you just do a normal stitch. So this is now what's going to create the mitre, because normally in a granny square, you do a corner stitch and go all the way round and end up back here.
Yeah.
But we're only doing 2.
Right.
So the next, and the mitre is only made up of 2 rows, and it's just a repeat of those rows in a different colour.
Okay.
So we're going to go back that way now. Now to do that, we're going to do a chain 3. Now some people chain 3 and turn, and some people turn and chain 3. You get the same result,
Okay.
but I kind of do it as I'm going along. So I start chaining and then turn the work. So now you can see that the square is going the other way. So I've chained 1, chain 2 and chain 3. So remember, we went that way, so now we're going to go back that way.
Okay.
Now, and this is how you have to get your sides straight. This is just what you do. This one here, this chain 3, is now going to create the end space for the next row. I've lost you, haven't I?
No.
I've lost you.
No, I've
I
got
know.
an itchy eye, that was all.
So we need to start our stitches in the next space. This one here, this chain 3, yes, it is a treble, but it's just now going to create the space when we come back for the next row. So I'm just going to do side spaces, and this is how you form a straight side. If I were to do 3 stitches in there, it would take that side out.
Yeah.
And then I carry on, and where there is a side stitch, I do 3 trebles. And then where there is a corner, now there is only going to be, in this mitre square, there is now only going to be 1 corner. There is, the white is a border, so that's completely different. But going up here, you're only going to have one corner stitch now.
Right.
So I'm going to complete that, and remember it is 3 treble, 2 chain, 3 treble. Now the eagle-eyed out there will notice that because I've turned and going back the other way, I've kind of created a right side and a wrong side all together. With crochet, if you don't turn your work, there is a definite right side and wrong side.
Right.
You have a flatter stitch on the right side and then a bobbly stitch, a bit like a knit and a purl in knit. But when you turn your work, you don't get that. Both sides look the same. So I'm just...
Because you've got the equivalent of... I understand, yeah.
So that you've got it here. So this stitch here, this white stitch here is the equivalent of a plain.
Yeah.
And if you turn it over, it's bobbly.
Yeah.
But here, you'll have the right side, right side, right side,
yeah.
and then these 3 will look as though they're at purl at the equivalent. Okay. You are going to be a master at crochet, aren't you?
No.
Okay. Have you actually...
I've never even picked one up now.
Right. So now we've got to the end.
Right.
We've got to the end here, but we want to do the same this end as we've done this end, because remember we've created that space ready for our next row. We want to do that here, and to do that we just do a treble stitch into the top of that 3 chain that we worked at the beginning. If you really want to, if you're a beginner, you can go in that space because there is a little space it's created, that 3 chain.
All right.
But you would really go into the top. And then what we've done, as you can see, I'm not going to do the rest of the rows, but you've created a hole there and a hole there. Yeah. So that when we turn it over and start our next one, we're going to do a repeat of this row here.
Right.
The only difference is going to be, instead of having 1 side stitch, it's going to have more, and the Rex will have more and more. But that's the basic mitre square. And then we just change a new colour. So we change to the next colour and work the mitre of that. When we've come back to here, we do the same. Now it's really, really important that you go back in where you came out.
Okay. Right, I need to do a recap because we're blue. What's in at the moment? Sorry, hang on. Oh, single figures of the grey and the blue. Over half the stock of the blue has gone. Can we just pull the blue blanket back out? Sorry, Wendy.
Absolutely.
Because you're working on the grey, we think people might have just tuned in and not realised there's a blue version as well. There's the blue version. So you get the white, you get the pale blue, the denim, and then the darker blue. There it is in situ on Wendy's bed.
That's not my bed.
That's not your bed.
That's my
Must
daughter's.
be Millie's bed.
That's my daughter's bed.
Oh, is it? It's your daughter's bed?
Yeah.
Oh, so you did have one at
her.
So did Millie send it to your house then? Oh, I was going to say. So the blue one, more than half the stock's gone, but the grey is literally down to single figures now. Romping ahead is the grey. Right, okay, so I just had to get
I
that
love the blue. I don't know
I
why.
like the blue as well.
I love
I
the
like
blue.
the blue.
I just love it because I think it's like the denim in it.
Yeah.
And as I say, when you said that you could get 2 packs, Rebecca has done a phenomenal value on this. To have the instructions and the wool is really good. I like blankets to be able to snuggle under when I'm on the settee. But yes, certainly for a double bed, that would be great if you put 2 together, wouldn't it? Right, so we've done that.
Jojo says, I love Wendy's demo. I've just caught myself answering her out loud, saying, all right, that's clever, isn't it?
Oh, what's clever? What's clever?
Whatever you just did. Right, okay.
Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just show you how to do the border. Now, I haven't done the final colour on here, so you would complete all the final colours on there, and then we'd work the border stitch. I'm just going to get my white.
You see, I think once you've got the pattern of this, I'd love a rainbow version of it.
Well, what I was actually going to just say to you is what you could do, once you've got the technique, and if you get the pattern, yeah, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so there's 8. So you don't have to just do 2 of each colour. Yeah. You could do 1 of each, but what you would have to remember then is you need to change your colour at the other end, so you'd be changing your colour everywhere, basically. Yeah. But I've done it, in fact, there's something very exciting coming up, so you will see that, but it looks amazing in the rainbow.
Okay,
it's fantastic. So all I'm going to do, yes, I think, did Rebecca say she was working on something now? She did.
No, she's not working on it. Oh, okay, yeah, her 6 months birthday.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to
Can't
be.
be 6 months already. Sure.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Well, no, I've been here for 6 months now, so I suppose it has. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So with the border, as I say, I left the last colour on off because then I've got less to do. But with the border, again, this doesn't matter where you start. You have to start in the right place for the mitre, but for the border, you don't have to. And I'm going to do exactly the same. And I'm going to do my double, my little treble cheat that I do. But you need to put it in one of the corner stitches because, again, if you can hide that anywhere around, if you can hide it in a corner, you're less likely to see it. But I would challenge anyone to find where I started. And I'm just going to do a corner stitch, which is 3 treble, 2 chain, 3 treble. Now I did start in this one for a reason. Sorry, my wool, if I stood on it, it's just misbehaving. That's why the cakes are so great if you wind it into a cake, because it comes out the centre and it just behaves, whereas balls tend to just have a mind of their own. Oops. I'm not squeaking today. I was squeaking the other day when I was in here. My needle got my hook got very hot. Well,
your knee got hot?
No, the hook. It was like squeaking.
Squeaking?
Yeah, not hot as in like, really hot, but when my fingers and hands get hot, then they squeak.
Do you know what she's talking about? I don't.
Crocheters out there will know, and knitters will know exactly what I'm talking about. So when you're doing this round, you'll see that this doesn't look like an obvious corner now, because you've got, what am I doing up there? Because you've got the end of the row there and then the end of the row before. So you're just going to do your corner stitch. I mean, there is a space there, so you just do it in there. I won't go all the way around, but I just wanted to show that you haven't done something wrong if this happens to you. I don't want you to think why they're sitting on they're on their side. So just do my corner stitch in there. Whoops, yes, this wool is just sitting in there, not behaving. Right, so I've done my corner stitch. Now what I wanted to show you, that these stitches down here are on their sides. There's some, when you go round, don't worry about them because it's the mitre. Do not worry about it. And then you would just continue doing a treble stitch into those spaces between the sides. It's all in the pattern for you, and it is quite. And at the back of the pattern, actually, I've drawn some diagrams, because it's sometimes when you take pictures.
You never drew these.
Yes, I did.
The computer drew.
No, I drew them.
They look like metatarsals, don't they?
That's rude.
It's not. It's fingers, isn't it? Fingers and toes.
Yeah, they're because I wanted them to look actually like stitches, because that's what a treble stitch looks like. I did them. It was with it was on my iPad with a pen, but I still I drew them with a pen.
All right.
Yeah. So you down the side, down the side there. Don't worry, they are just sitting on their side. So just go into the spaces in between them, and then you do your corner stitch, side stitches, corner and side, and then it's as it is. You just always go into the top of that 3 chain, but in my case it's always going to be a double treble, a dummy treble. You go into the top of it to close the round. So that's the border finished.
Okay.
Right. How are we for time?
You've got about 10 minutes.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. So we were doing what we did earlier with the quilt. We're imagining that we've sewn. We've got all our 80
squares.
Yeah, so you would make them all first. You can join them before if you want to, because sometimes it's a little bit repetitive just doing all things. And what I tend to do is I tend to do the white, and all the white, and then I add all the grey. I don't make them one at a time anyway.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you do 80 middles, 80 pale grey, 80 mid grey.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, you only made 4 though.
Well, no, I have now. No, because I'm making this one. This is going to be the new demo. So I'll be making this one, but I do it for pleasure, and I didn't want to just do all 80. So now what we're going to do, we've got all our 80, and this is really quite important that you make sure that when you lay them down, they're all the same way, because you want your eye to be drawn into that 3D effect of this being the darker. So you don't want to put them you know, like different.
Yeah.
I suppose you could again.
But that's going to create something completely different.
It will. It's going to create a completely different illusion. But if you have them, and I've stated that just to put them in the bottom right. But again, it's up to you how you sew them together. And then all you do is you sew them all in rows, and then you put the rows together. So I've done my first row, even though there's only 2 of them. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. And you get the colour. I think it's the 3rd colour for that. Perfect. Now, remember me saying that there is a right side and a wrong side. On this side, I like to have the nice flat white square. And if I put 2 next to each other, I don't know, it's probably not the best colour to be able to pick up. But these stitches are raised and these are really flat.
Okay.
So I like to have the flat. But again, it's up to you. Once you get it home, it's your project. And then all you want to do is you want to take 2 of the squares and you want to have them, so I'm calling this my wrong side, so you want them to have them wrong sides together. If you don't do that, this is what you'll get on the back. Now that is a completely different effect. If you would rather have that effect to sew them together, that's absolutely fine. But we were going for the raised, and you'll see it on the blanket that Millie's done for us. We were going for that raised effect here.
Okay.
Now I've done these, well, I shouldn't say that. Millie has done these in double crochet. You can, however, do them in slip stitch. If you do them in slip stitch, they're a little bit flatter. With the double crochet, when you do this kind of join, they have a tendency to lean, whereas a slip stitch won't do that. But I like that.
But I quite like the fact that it looks raised. It does the double crochet make it look like...
Double crochet make it look raised.
I like that, yeah.
A slip stitch will not make it as raised, but yeah, it just tilts over, and that's really natural. So the first thing...
What are you going to do now?
I'm going to do the double crochet because that's what the pattern states. So all we're going to do is we're going to take them, so we're going to join them in rows. So we put these 2 together, and then we're going to put wrong sides together. So and before I do that, I just want to show you what we're looking for. What we're looking for here is I'm going to be working in the corner stitch first, and then I'm going to be working down each corresponding top of the stitch here. Now, what you want to do is you want to be going into this back stitch here and this stitch on the other side. Just those. You don't want to go through the whole of the stitch. You just want to pick up the 2 that are closest together. You've got a little V shape there. So you want to pick up the side of the V that's closest to the other V. And what that will do, it will give this effect here, so you can see this little ridge either side of this centre. You don't have to do that. You can go through the whole of the stitch if you feel more comfortable, but I just think it makes the ridge sit better in the middle. So all we're going to do, I'm going to put my hook through one corner and the other corner. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and then just do a chain, and that will secure those 2 together now. Now, if you want to, you can work with them flat so that then you can really see where those stitches are, but I tend to hold them up together like that. And then what you want to do is make sure that the corresponding stitches are opposite each other, and then I'm just going to pick up the next loop and that loop. Remember the loops closest together, and then we do a double crochet. So yarn over 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and that is now secure. Now, remember me saying that you might possibly need to go down a hook size. This could be the case where you do that. And also what you don't want to be doing though is you don't want to be pulling these too tight. You want these to be really loose and natural. Because if I were to pull these tight as I'm doing it, it's going to pull the blanket in. And there's going to be no give in it, because the whole point of making a blanket like this is that it's got a nice lot of give. And then all I'm doing is just working double crochet stitches all the way along with the corresponding stitches. If I just show you like that. So with the corresponding stitches, and if I really pull it, you can now see that I've taken don't know if we can get in to see that, because I am pulling it. I would suggest you don't do this at home, but I just want to show you that you can see that I've only taken the loops from the inner loops. Now I will just quickly show you if we've got time. Have we got time?
Yeah, go.
If I'm just going to do a slip stitch rather than a double crochet so that you can see the 2 different effects. And a slip stitch is literally pick the 2 loops up, yarn over and just take it off the hook. So there's no second yarn over with a slip stitch. If you decide to go for this method, you have to make sure that you do a really loose slip stitch. Otherwise,
oh, you see, when you said you were going to slip stitch it, I thought you meant with the needle.
No, no, no. You still do it with a crochet hook.
Oh, I don't like that. Anyway, got a nice message from Caroline.
That's rude.
I'm not being rude. I'm just stating my preference. I like that ridged one.
Right,
that
you
Lily's
haven't
done to
seen
begin
this
with.
one yet. Do not judge until you've seen
Hi
it, John.
all. I do one block, then like Wendy, I do all the white, then all the next colour using the first block as reference. Great demo from Caroline in West Yorkshire. Oh, I do love West Yorkshire.
Caroline, you're absolutely right. I mean, the thing is, sometimes you just want to knit a square. That's all you want to do. But you see, you're looking at this now to see. Right.
Yeah, I like it. I like the ridge.
You prefer, yeah. So this one, you get a different kind of effect.
Yeah. I understand why people might want that one, but I quite like that ridged
I
effect.
personally prefer the double crochet, but sometimes it does tend to do a little bit of that.
But I don't mind that because you're not making it to be a regular grid, are you? It's a cozy love. It's going to be a blanket. You love, you take everywhere with you.
And the whole
thing.
point, it should look handmade.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And then you would do that for all of your squares in your row. But just remember, you must remember to keep the white where the white is. Then when you've sewn all your rows together, like this, you would simply do exactly the same. And then just make sure that as you're going along doing these, that these 2 match up.
Yeah.
Because you're matching, remember, we match the stitches up anyway, but just keep a check. Don't get so far in and then realise that you're all scrunched up. Make sure that you are doing the opposite stitches as you go along. Yeah. And then you just put the border, we haven't got time to put the border on, have we?
No, not really. I don't know if I'd want a border. I think I could. Do I have to? Do I have to have a border?
Right, so that's what your blanket would look like without a border.
Yeah, I like that.
Right. You don't have to put a border.
So it's not going to unravel or anything like that?
Absolutely not. And have we got any time at all?
You got 30 seconds.
Well, then I was going to show you just how to do your ends, but no, that's fine. I won't get
do what?
just to put your ends in, but I won't get
All
them
right,
in.
you can do that next time.
I will do that next time.
When are you on next?
Well, when are you in? Are you in on the 28th
Of?
this month?
I don't know, am I? They're just looking now.
Yeah.
What day of the week is it?
I have no idea.
No, it might not be me.
Oh.
Hang on. No, tis me. Tis me. No, it's next month it changes, isn't it? I do every weekend.
That's lovely. I'm trying to get you back.
Yes. And that's... Pardon? I'm in for 6 days on a row.
No way. I hope I'm not in on your 6th day because you will be asleep on the desk.
I won't. I'll be energised.
It's been
I've only got, apart from my Simply Sewing page, I've only got Sewing Street next month, so I'll be all right.
Oh, okay.
No, I know. I remember Hayley mentioning something like that. So basically, they've finished the April rota, then done the May rota and gone, is that all okay? And they've gone, well, yeah, of course it is, because you don't look at it in the same page. It's only when you put the 2 pages together, isn't it? Anyway, come on, let's do this bundle. They didn't touch her, by the way.
They didn't. No, I dodged.
Right. Okay. So blue one. No, grey one. There are 5 left. Once you've all checked out, there are 5 of these left. You get the instructions. You get 4 balls of white. You get 4 balls of... Oh, glasses, John. Graphite, I think this one was called, wasn't it? 3 of graphite, sorry. Then you get 3 of grey and you get 2 of silver, plus the instructions, and that will make the blanket that is 40 inches by 50 inches, or if you're doing it Wendy's way, it could be any size, really, couldn't it? Well, no, because your squares may be bigger, but your blanket will end up the same size. You don't get the scissors and you don't get the crochet hook in that thing. It's a nice picture. That grey is very, like designer boutique-y houses, isn't it? Yeah, that's why Hannah liked it so much. Then that's the grey one. There's literally a handful of those left. The blue one, now obviously you get more than this because I've just thrown the others at Wendy. You get 4 white. You get, let's sort this one out. French navy, you get 3. Denim, you get 3. And you get 2 of cloud blue. We'll make you that. And your 4 white. Yeah, I've said 4 white. 4 white, £32.99. And you get the instructions, don't forget. Sadly, the instructions are not available on their own this time. 32.99. Right, do I need to... Oh, there it is on the bed. Right, I've got crochet hooks here. I've got size 4.5, first of all. There are different makes on the website if you have a favourite make, or if you don't like this wider handle. That's 4.5mm, that one. Okay, then we've also got the 4. $4.99. Right, we've been waiting for these next things to come back in stock. They're back in stock, but I have a feeling they're all going to sell out again. Oh no, okay, I'll take that back. They've bought so many this time. They're not planning on us running out for a long time. Let's prove them wrong. Let's prove them wrong. Let's just buy all of these. You get 3 wool needles. And look, if you see here, at the end here, you've got your little loop of like fishing wire for you to put your yarn through. They're very useful, aren't they, these?
Extremely useful.
And what else would you use them for? I suppose when you're making a jumper, I'm thinking knitting, use them to sew your jumper
Perfect for
together.
knitting, perfect, absolutely. Because as I say, they've got that big end for your wool.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go, $1.99. Let's buy all of those. Right, okay, then I've also... Now, we didn't use in this one, we didn't use stitch counters. Would you need stitch markers in that at all?
If you're new, then yes, because when you go to that, the one that's not the corner, it was a corner before, then it's not a corner. If you put a stitch marker in there, it just show you where you got to end. So
so you don't carry on.
Exactly.
And also, sometimes it's like when you're doing sewing and you're backing out, I put 2 pins to stop me because I always forget to leave.
Absolutely.
You know, if there's 2 pins, you go, oh, why have I got 2 pins?
Well, you laughed at me because I actually draw a line in my pen so that I don't go in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I would never laugh
No,
at
I
you.
know.
Oh, yeah, I would.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
you
laugh with you, laugh with...
No, you laugh at me, yeah.
And then these little scissors very quickly. We love these. They're in every single Yarn Lane show. You always need a lovely pair of scissors. Millie, I'm keeping an eye on that blanket. It's going in Wendy's bag at the moment. It's $13.99. Now, Yarn Lane is back tomorrow. It's me. I've got Anna Nikibrowski. Did that come out right that time? I think I might have missed a little bit out of the middle bit. We're doing a crochet along tomorrow. It's all to do with West Yorkshire spinners, but I'll tell you all about that tomorrow. Remember, I am back tomorrow on Sewing Street as well. So please join me then. Am I going to go? Yeah, I'm going to go. Make sure you check out your baskets on these, especially on the grey ones, because they're about to go. Oh, okay, there's 4 of the grey ones left and just a handful of the blue ones. So please, and there's an awful lot of people got them in baskets. We're going now, so make sure you check out your basket. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8.